Okay, y'all, I am so excited. I can absolutely burst. I absolutely do not like driving over bridges. Now, I can drive over bridges, but I don't like them, especially the high ones. I'm not into heights. I just don't like heights. But this past weekend, I was invited to be a guest speaker at a women's retreat in St. George Island, Florida. And I was so excited about this retreat. The lady that was putting the retreat together, she called me and she was like, okay, I went down there to check out the retreat center. Everything is nice, it's beautiful, but I want to prepare you because there is a bridge that you're gonna have to go over. And I'm like, okay, you know, cool and all this other stuff. I can do this. I'm a big girl and all this other stuff. And she said it's about 4 or 5 miles long. And she said it's just across the ocean. Excuse me? And so I was like, okay, all right, I've given this one my word. I come. Because I mean, that's across the ocean. You know, that's concrete across the ocean. And, you know, I've seen movies where concrete crumbles into the ocean and then the cars go under the water. I was like, no, Jesus, I can't do this. And so I was just, oh my gosh, I can't explain the fear that came over me. So what I did was I went online and I Googled and I discovered that this particular bridge is the 3rd largest bridge in Florida. This was the bridge to St. George Island, Florida. You know, I can do this, because me and a couple of ladies from our church and my daughters, we were going to go down there, and I was like, okay, I can do this. Bridget, you can do this. God is not giving you the spirit of fear. God is not giving you the spirit of fear. So what I did was, to psych myself out, I went online and I found a video where somebody posted on YouTube of them going over the St. George Island Bridge, or the bridge to St. George Island. So what I did was I tried to psych myself out, and I was like, imagine yourself in the car and you're driving over the water. And the thing about this bridge is there is an incline where you have to go up, and as you're going up, you can't see the other side, so it looks like when you go on the other side, you're just gonna go down to the water. I was on Tums, I had heartburn, my stomach was fluttering. See, I can't even talk, just thinking about it just made me nervous. And I was like, okay, I can't do this, I can't do this. And so, thank God a door opened up where my husband was going to be able to go with us. So I was like, okay, cool, my husband can drive us there and everything. And I thought about it, I was like, okay, well, once we get there, maybe, you know, if it's not too bad, I'll have him pull on the side of the road and I'll just drive right over the bridge, because there's a part where you can pull over before it's time to go over the bridge. And then as we were driving up on the side, we saw all that water. So I was like, thank you, Jesus, my husband was here. So we went over the bridge, and it was hard for me going over the bridge, and he was driving. I was sitting up and I was like, this ain't nothing but water. This is nothing but concrete and water. I mean, if there's a tsunami, everything was going through my mind, you all. So we got over the bridge, thank you, Jesus. Went there, had a wonderful time at the retreat. It was a wonderful time to just rest in God. It was a wonderful time to fellowship with other women and to pour into them. But even as we were out by the beach, we were around the fire pit at the beach, and I could see from where I was sitting around the fire pit, the bridge, and it was just there, and I was just looking. And I felt so defeated, because God has not given me the spirit of fear. God has not given me the spirit of fear, but fear kept me from driving over that bridge. And I was like, but Lord, I don't want to. I don't like that. That's scary. And you could just see the cars in the distance just going up the incline and down. I was like, I can't do this. I can't do this. But then at the same time, all I do is speak and empower people and tell people, you can do this, and all things are possible through Christ, and greater is He that is in you than he that is in the world. But Bridget, you're sitting back and you won't do it. And even that night, I just tossed and turned. I was thinking about that, and I felt like a hypocrite, because it was literally mind over matter. I've flown in airplanes, I've been on cruises, I've been on the water. I'm not a water person, but I've been on the water, but yet and still this. I mean, it was so bad that I even went back and Googled to see how many accidents had happened on the bridge, just to see if there was some danger factors, if people would just get a little helpless or, you know, careless or whatever on the bridge. And so I was sitting up there and I was like, you know, God, you have not given me the spirit of fear. And if I do not go across that bridge, then I'm not operating in you, but I'm operating in fear, which is not of you. And I am saying that I have this faith walk in you. I'm saying that I, you know, trust in you. You know, I say that if you will bring me to it, then you'll bring me through it. But if I don't go back over that bridge, then I am defeated, because I allowed Satan to take over my mind, because it's mind over matter. I mean, there are more accidents, in all honesty, on regular roads than there are bridges. And matter of fact, when I Googled the accidents on that bridge, they're, you know, far few and in between. So I was like, okay, Bridget, you're gonna do this, you're gonna do this. And God took me back to the year 1997, my very first time and my very last time getting on a roller coaster. And he was like, Bridget, you remember when you were standing up there and you were getting ready to get on a cyclone? And he said, you remember how your heart was pounding? And you remember how afraid you were, and I was like, yes, Lord, yes, you know, what are you talking about? He said, but you still kept going. You kept going through that line, and you were so nervous, and you were barely talking, and everybody was laughing at me because I got so quiet, and everybody know I'm not the quiet type, but I got quiet, my heart was racing and everything. He said, but you kept pushing. You kept going. You kept pushing. You kept going. He said, your heart is going to race. You know, your flesh is going to get to you. You know, you're going to sit up here and you're going to be afraid. You're going to be scared. But as long as you keep going, if you keep moving, then that's when you know that you're moving in courage. Courage is moving through the fear. If there's no fear, then there's no need for courage. So keep going. Trust me. Keep going. And I know this may seem minute to you all, but it's a big thing for me. When you have a phobia of something, this is a big thing. So, you know, like I was like, okay, Lord, I'm going to be nervous. I'm going to be afraid, you know, but I'm going to keep going, and I'm going to keep trusting in God. And so the day came when it was time for us to leave, and I got in the car, and my husband, he was like, you're really going to drive? I was like, yes, I'm going to do this. And in the back of his mind, I know he was thinking that I was going to pull over shortly before we got to the bridge, and said, no, I couldn't do it. But I got in that car. I held on to those wheels for dear life. I mean, I was about to squeeze the wood grain out of those wheels. Did it, and I went across the bridge. And so when I got on the bridge and it was time for us to go, you know, my heart was racing. You know, the enemy, you know how he tries to, you know, play tricks on your mind and everything. And I was like, okay, I'm just going to go. I'm going to go the speed limit, which is 55 miles per hour. Well, lo and behold, somebody in front of the car in front of me was going like 45 miles per hour. So I was going 40, and I was like, you know, even longer. But I was like, okay. And I was like, but I'm going to keep going. I'm not going to look to the left. I'm not going to look to the right. And so later on, as I was driving and everything, and my heart started, you know, my pulse rate, it started kind of like mellowing out and, you know, relaxing a little bit more. God said, look to the left, look to the right. And I did. I looked. You know, my breathing kind of, you know, went down. And I felt the peace and the calm of God. And I felt so proud of myself because I pushed through the fear. I pushed through mind over matter, faith over fear. I trusted in God. I was not going to allow the enemy to defeat me in this. A lot of times we don't do something because fear overtakes us. This flesh is a mess. It doesn't care who bones it's on. It's going to mess with you. But operating in courage means walking through the fear. Walking no matter how much fear you feel on in here, and you keep walking. And the more you walk, the less and less you feel afraid. Once I got across that bridge, I felt like I could do anything. Anything. I felt like I could just drive anywhere. Now, am I going to take up a career driving over bridges? No, because, you know, it's just not Bridget. But I know push comes to shove. If I have to, my God's got me. So no matter what it is that you are dealing with, no matter what it is that you want to do, but you're afraid to take that step. It's okay to be afraid as long as you keep going, because as you keep going, all of those scales and walls of fear will fall along the wayside, and you'll find yourself walking in courage. You'll find yourself feeling empowered. You'll find yourself walking in God's strength and realizing that you can do anything. This has been First Lady B, and I pray my testimony has been a blessing for you all. Have a great day. Bye-bye.